Everyone, I am Carmen Michael, the professional mic holder.
Everyone, it's Alexis Cardoza.
What's up, everybody? It's the Wild Rhino Clark Connors from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I am here getting wild, drinking an 805.
Hey, this is Billy Starks.
Rip F and Bison. I ran out of booze.
I am the fire starter, the Carney Killer. I am born to die, Jake Crest.
This is Bobby Olson.
This is Anthrax of H2O.
My name's Christopher Landon, Anthony Streeter.
My name is Frank Minetti.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Red Air and one half of the PH Boys from Hood Classic Entertainment, representing the Hood Boys, the PH Boys, Purple Haze, Prince Alexander.
This is Martin Stone, the original strong style hooligan.
And today, you have the privilege
of drinking at Moe's.
And you know I'm drinking with Mo.
And you are drinking at Moe's.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkin' Moe's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts. They got hoodies. They got beanies. They got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're filling out your order, use the code Drinkin' at Moe's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go.
All right, everybody. Drinkin' Moe's, my 2 cents. Big Mo here. Nate here. You know the drill by now. YouTube, share, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Hit that like button with a gonzo bomb like your Brody King.
Brody King!
Let's fucking go. Oh, and one more thing before we really get going. Disclaimer! We only state our opinions on this show. We are not affiliated with any wrestler or promotion, blah, blah, blah. Take it or leave it. These are our opinions, nothing more. All right, now that shit's out of the way.
You know what would be great?
What?
When you do the disclaimer and then you throw the box, if you could find glass shattering sound effect when you throw it.
I like it. I like it. I'm gonna have to work on that one because yeah. Now that you bring that up, I'm liking that idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Well, hell, now it becomes even more evident with how people were wanting Stone Cold to show up during that main event of night 2. But it ended up being The Undertaker. Which, hey, I was, in that instance, I was not disappointed as much as I would have loved.
You heard the reason why?
No.
I heard 2 reasons. One, they just couldn't come to terms financially. And 2, Stone Cold is so protective of his character. I mean, the way you saw The Undertaker before he retired, that's Stone Cold now. He is overprotective of that character. And I'm guessing he felt that if he would have showed up for the main event, it would have overshadowed him. So, plus, I don't think Stone Cold's going to hide under the ring or run through the crowd. Excuse me. You know, if he's going to show up for the main event, the glass is going to shatter and he's going to walk down from the stage, which is going to add damn near another 5 minutes to the main event. And it was already, oh God, it wasn't even the longest match of the entire show.
Yeah, it would.
I think it was like 35 minutes.
Yeah. But this episode of My Two Cents, we are going to go over. It's going to be another, probably could be another series of them. What would you do? How would you improve some situation in wrestling? And like I said in the goddamn disclaimer, this is just our opinions. There are things in the wrestling business that certain, like the financials of it, that we might not know the whole ins and outs of everything. We are just giving opinions.
Yep.
All right. So this time we are going to go over, there has been a lot of talk about AEW attendance. And, sometimes it can be kind of hit and miss, especially when they try some of the larger arenas, which there's one common thing that comes up a lot when it comes to AEW attendance, and that seems to be the lack of local marketing. Like you hear WWE, when it comes to local marketing, they got a show coming up here in Omaha, SmackDown, July 19th, and they are already advertising that locally.
They've been advertising that, haven't they?
Radio stations have already done contests for tickets. That leads into one thing that I think could definitely improve things for them, for AEW, is local marketing. Whatever you got to do, factoring in the financials into your budget, whatever it might be, pour more money into local marketing, because it happens way too often that I've heard of people commenting, well, I would have gone, but I didn't hear about it until the week of. And it's like, okay, because even some of the AEW shows that have gone on in Kansas City, the one time that I was actually able to go, that was kind of funny, the friend of mine that used to live with my wife and me, his now wife got him tickets for his birthday and asked if I could go. And well, luckily we had enough notice.
Can Mo come out and play?
Because here's the thing with his wife and mine. They both support our love of wrestling and our fandom, but when it comes to actually going to the shows, if they can find somebody else to go with, they would rather that. But that is the thing with AEW. I'm a fan. I got plenty of the damn figures here behind me, but it's just the fact of the local marketing for them. It's to figure out a polite term, the best way to put it would be subpar. Mm-hmm. Because it just doesn't seem like they have much in those regards.
Okay, so I like where you're going with this. However, this morning, after I woke up, I turned on YouTube. The first thing that popped up, the Hall of Fame induction speech by one Mean Gene Okerlund. And he made reference to one of the promos they did, because they would They would do local. They would do. They would film promos for the local markets.
Yeah, back in the day, they
Back
did
in the
that
day. Now,
quite well, actually.
And that would be one of those where if you wanted to go to the show, but you only liked, say, 2 people, then you'd be able to find out, okay, hey, by the way, my favorite's going to be here. I want to go. I kind of like wrestling, but I like Jake the Snake Roberts. Well, Jake the Snake Roberts just did a promo about Omaha. Oh, well, I guess that means I need to go to the Omaha show. What's to say they don't start doing that? I mean, every so often, I remember back when AEW and I think it was TNA, when they had their business relationship, they would do event centers where it'd be like Tony Khan, maybe Tony Schiavone, and they'd say, okay, here's in our next couple of days, here's who's scheduled to be there, and then they stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Now, if Tony Khan wants to be the student of the game, the follower, the huge follower, yada yada yada, whatever. Why didn't he bring stuff like that back?
That would help.
We've watched enough wrestling documentaries to know that when you're in a town, and okay, I'll get back to that part. But when you're in the town, a lot of these guys are supposed to show up, say at 2:30, 3 o'clock. Bell time's not until what, 6 or 7. So you got 3 or 4 hours where you can just pull them over to where they got the cameras set up and just crank out a couple. Just crank out a couple and see what you can do with it.
And hell, those could even go on like social media, even like their social medias to be like, hey, this person's here in this town, whatever, and make sure you get out. So that way, when, let's say they're doing that, but it's not for that specific town. Like they're doing this like in advance for other towns. So that way people can be like, oh shit, this person's I love that guy, much like you said. So you know what? I'm going to make sure I'm going to be at that, because if they're going to be there, I want to be there.
I know, and kind of going off of that, it's like indie wrestling. We follow a lot of the wrestlers that are indie wrestlers. What do? They post it on social media. Hey, by the way, I'm going to be here. I'm doing this, and this is when the show is. And they will constantly share that event. We know some guys that will, just set their phone up and just set their phone up here and just cut a promo wherever they're going.
Yeah.
What's to say that you couldn't do that?
Exactly.
It's not like AEW is running house shows.
Yeah.
So basically from Wednesday until Saturday, they might be fairly busy, but from Sunday until Wednesday or Tuesday, however you want to work it, you can find time to do stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's not like they're, Tony Khan, not like he's running short on money. I mean,
if you want to know where AEW is going,
his family, they own the Jacksonville Jaguars. They own, I forget what soccer team it is over in England.
Yeah,
they own them too. And they own AEW. So it's like there's money that could go around. Like, I get it. Maybe wow.
You're coughing. I've got the wind.
Fucking cough, but like
you're coughing. I got the wind blowing through here, shaking up my screen. So,
but yeah, no, the priorities might be in different places. Especially with the Jaguars, you'd think that they'd be trying to actually put together a winning team, but that's a whole nother issue.
And so when you sit there and say that their minds are elsewhere, I don't think their minds are trying to make the Jaguars a better team. I think they're trying to make themselves look better in everyone else's eyes. Unfortunately, that didn't exactly work.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, they got really petty, and they're catching a lot of hell for what they've done.
Well, here's my, and you know what? I'm not wanting to sound like I'm not acknowledging that it was probably a dumb move.
Mm-hmm.
But on one hand, I get that they felt the need to respond.
Oh yeah.
Could it have been done differently? Hell, maybe that's a whole nother topic for another one of these what would you do things. But it probably could have been done differently, but I'm not going to sit here and act like WWE doesn't have some fault in the whole situation, because literally they're building up to WrestleMania, their biggest show, and all indications, and we'll talk in another episode about WrestleMania 40 was, all intents and purposes, one of the biggest ones that they've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as far as attendance, because I mean, the Lincoln Financial Field doesn't hold as many people as like the Cowboys Stadium, but it was still one of the better ones that they've had. And the whole thing is, in a lot of those tapings, those live Pat McAfee shows, which, hey, nothing against Pat McAfee.
Oh, no.
He can be quite entertaining, but good grief, did the whole, yeah, I love his reactions.
I do too. That's awesome.
But it's like, why did they spend so much time bashing a company that they try to tell you that they don't view as competition, but they're continually bashing them?
Are you talking about
getting ready for your biggest show? There really wasn't any need for that, and the whole thing with comments on people that signed with AEW over WWE not being in it for the grind. I'm like, okay, we all know what the fuck you're talking about and who the fuck you're talking about without mentioning their names. And I'm sorry, but that is the whole thing. People have their reasons for not going. And if you're just going to sit there and bash them for not picking your company and saying, oh, I'm glad we didn't get them. Like, come on.
So you're talking about what Triple H said when he was on the Pat McAfee show?
Yeah.
Okay. So
and a whole bunch of other people.
The way I look at it, unlike, I can't go there. We're not going to get political. So, unlike wrestling, a lot of these, what do we call them? Third-party interviewers, third-party interview shows. Pat McAfee was one of your play-by-play guys. So I guess he's still doing the Pat McAfee show. So let's have some of our people on there, kind of like the one with CM Punk. His name Ariel Helwani.
Oh God! Don't get me started on that douche.
Okay. Well,
not Punk. Punk. In all honesty, I don't really have that many issues with them.
I was
The host.
I was just making a reference. I've heard some people, especially on Busted Open, they were calling that a third party interview. It's not through WWE. It's just there. So it's kind of like the Pat McAfee show. It's not scripted. They're not going up to Triple H or to Drew McIntyre or whoever else he had on throughout the week and saying, "Hey, here's a list of questions that I want to ask." Oh no! Everything that was asked was thrown at him. You can see it sometimes in Triple H's face. He heard a question. He's like,
"Yeah."
And to me, that was about as politically correct as you can get for an answer.
I'll give it that. I'll give it that.
And yeah, the whole not wanting to do the grind thing, I get that. And then bashing him because of the soft schedule. You have 3 goddamn shows. You have a roster this huge. Everyone's got to get somewhere. Either you need to start figuring out how to put people in places, or just start doing mass cuts.
And that actually comes up with another thing.
Segue.
Oh, wow.
Is that Dr. Pepper?
Yep. But anyways, it brings me to another topic because everything we're talking about could go into another episode, which we probably will end up doing. But the whole thing about the multiple shows, I also think what could help solve some of these issues when it comes to AEW and attendance is a clear roster split. Like, okay, you even got multiple brands, Ring of Honor, and so on. And I'm not going to go into my normal rant about the champions. I knew you were going to like that. But
it is Sunday. Thank you.
But the whole thing that I have is a clear roster split. You got your Ring of Honor. You got your Dynamite. You got Collision. And like, I get saving money, and like I think it's pretty well known of Collision and Ring of Honor taping on the same night, and Dynamite and Rampage on the same night. That is fine. But having the clear roster split as far as your AEW and Ring of Honor, if you want to go, you have a certain roster for Dynamite and Rampage, and then your other roster for Collision and Ring of Honor, by all means. But my whole other part of that would help clear up some possible confusion for some people is, especially on the Collision Ring of Honor side of it, you have even another split in there. You have your AEW guys, your guys there for Collision, and then you have your roster there for Ring of Honor. And there's a split right in there. Because let's be honest, AEW / Ring of Honor, they have a very big roster. A lot of people that don't get used that frequently. You have that clear roster split, that confusion at least lightens, and then that way, if going back to attendance and going to filming promos for, like, let's say somebody is a fan of Eddie Kingston, just because he's a favorite of mine. Let's say you got your people, but then all of a sudden somebody is like, oh, I wanted to go see Eddie Kingston, but he isn't actually even going to be there that night because he's going to be on Dynamite that week and not Collision.
Mm-hmm.
You have your split there. What the fuck was that? Okay, that was weird. The lights flickered. That was
apparently weird. You have ghosts and they don't like you talking shit about AEW.
I'm not talking shit about AEW. Yeah. But it just goes down to, you have a large enough roster that you could do that split.
Oh, hell yeah.
And be able to afford having people. You can afford to have people on Dynamite and Rampage, and you can have your people for Ring of Honor and Collision, and you'd be just damn fine. And let's say the champions, everybody holding a belt, can, for like the AEW titles, can be on those shows. Like, they can be on both, because that's kind of like what WWE used to do with the draft and the brand split.
Mm-hmm.
The people that held the world heavyweight title, the WWE title, and the women's title, and the tag titles, those all would be those, like, both brands. But then you'd also have, like, your Intercontinental and your US. AEW, they could have, let's say, the international title is specific to Collision, and the TNT, well, I'm trying to remember which one airs on which. I think Collision's the TNT one. So you'd have TNT on the TNT title on Collision.
Okay.
And then you'd have the international title on TBS. And then, boom, little less confusion there. So that way people can know if Dynamite or Collision is going to be there, they can be like, oh, I like so-and-so on that show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there for that one. Because that's another thing that I've heard come up is people being fans of so-and-so, but then they go to try to see who's going to be at the show in their area, and that person isn't going to be there.
Yeah. I can't argue with that. I do like the brand split. I would almost change it up a little bit. You'd make it a brand split, so you have Dynamite and Collision taped on one night, Rampage and Ring of Honor taped on another night. That way, and the way they've got it set up, if you're a fan of, say, Samoa Joe is the AEW champion. He would, of course, be on your main show, which is Dynamite and Rampage are taped on the same night. So let's just say, you watch Dynamite, there's Samoa Joe, they record, they tape a Rampage, you're going to watch Rampage, everyone you just saw on Dynamite 2 days ago is now on Rampage. And then you do the same thing, you watch Collision, and I'll be damned, there's some Ring of Honor guys showing up there. Well, then next thing you know, when Ring of Honor TV is, which is
Thursdays, I believe.
Thursday nights, okay. So Thursday nights, the same people you saw show up on Collision a week later on Ring of Honor TV, they're doing their thing. So you're basically jumbling the brand split into, certain things. I would almost go as far as to say, okay, so let's do the brands. Words are hard. Do the brand split, Dynamite and Collision, and then you turn around, you have Rampage, Ring of Honor. That way, you're a fan of Samoa Joe. You see him main eventing with, I don't know, throw it out there, Dustin Rhodes. So he main events on Wednesday. You're not going to see him until at least Saturday. There's going to be somebody else that's thrown in there Friday nights. And then you've got, Ring of Honor on Thursday. SmackDown is before Rampage. And then you got Collision. That's how I would try and get that. Kind of break everything up. Because the way they're going, you've got the same people that are going to be on Wednesdays and Fridays. And then you're going to have people on Saturdays, get taped on Saturday to be seen on Thursday. That's the breakup there.
And the only other thing with it, though, is there's no clear roster split right now as far as Collision and Dynamite. You got the same people showing up on all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Having that split would kind of alleviate some of the, I guess, bloating of the roster.
It's kind of like something that I read last week, I believe it was. Adam Cole told Wardlow to run to Canada to save the United Undisputed Empire, or Undisputed Kingdom, I'm sorry. So basically, with all the tapings going on, here's Wardlow showing up at Ring of Honor TV, which at the time was taped in Canada, helping out the Kingdom win their match. At the same time, he's showing up at Rampage or wherever Roddy Strong was at. Roddy Strong was at, helping him hold on to the International Championship in two separate freaking places.
Yeah.
The funny thing about that was he was wearing the same clothes, even though we know it was like a day and a half apart.
Yeah. That's whatever.
Yeah.
But all of these things could definitely help alleviate some of those issues because, oh God, it is just, I am a fan of both. I'm a fan of the product. Hell, I even got a damn AEW calendar up at my desk at work. April's picture is a rather interesting one from one of the Blood and Guts matches with it's a picture of Kota Ibushi and Moxley. Moxley's face is all bloodied up.
What else is new?
What?
What else is new?
Yeah. Shit. I mean, just look at his recent win of the IWGP belt. His face was bloodied up. Which, hey, congratulations to Moxley for being, like, I think the first guy to be able to lay claim to winning the WWE, AEW, and IWGP belts.
Yep.
That is an awesome feat that, to be honest, I don't know if there's too many people that will ever be able to lay claim to all three.
Mm-hmm.
There's possibilities out there.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
But the fact of some of those possibilities are a little more advanced in their careers at this point.
Hey, if you want to think about it, if AJ Styles wanted to go to AEW after his contract was up,
he would be one that could.
But he's already said that he's looking to retire once this contract is up.
Yeah, no. So, like, there's people out there that could. It's just the fact of, are they going to do it? Highly doubting it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, oh God, I'm trying to trying to think. Do you have anything else on this particular topic?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I can't think of anything either. I can hear my dog rumbling around up there. But anyways, that is it for this episode. As we said before, leave a review on the audio platforms, share, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff on YouTube. Things are definitely improving on both, but I love it. And if you have a topic you want us to discuss, get our little rants and ramblings on, by all means, on this video, on the YouTube version, leave it in the comments, or on the posts on social media, leave it in the comments there. I have an email set up specifically for this show. I will leave that in the description of this episode. Email me there. Let me know. And you know what? If we use your topic, you will get a shout out on the episode. And hell, if it works out, we might even have you on for said episode. Anyways, that is about it. Let's fucking go. Get the fucking button. Fucking shit.